Hello, I'm Andrew Jupin.
Steven Zadek.
Eric Siska.
And we hate movies. Hello, everyone. Welcome to We Hate Movies. Thank you for tuning in, as always. If you're new to the program, you are catching us at a time where we're doing a sequel, which we do every now and again. This is the second sequel to a little film known as Karate Kid, or The Karate Kid. It's The Karate Kid, and this is The Karate Kid Part 3.
I always thought it was The Karate Kid.
No, it's a
okay.
common misconception.
Oh, it is The Karate Kid.
Oh no, it's The Karate Kid. Look out!
You know what? I bet Ralph Macchio has gotten that at bars and has been kind of pissed off.
Oh, after you, The Karate Kid.
It's like being called the coward Robert Ford.
They're making all sorts of songs about him.
It is directed by franchise director John Avildsen. I don't think he came back for next Karate Kid. I'll fact check it, but he at least directed the original trilogy.
Yeah, I mean, the original trilogy does have a very consistent long tone.
Yeah.
All these movies are all 2 hours.
So long.
Somehow they're all 2 hours. I don't know. I don't get it. Like, I know what those movies are, and like, my girlfriend's got a very famous story where she had her little cousin was like, "Oh man, I love the Karate Kid. I can't wait to watch it." They watched it together.
Mm-hmm.
It's going on, and the girl's like, "Can we just fast forward to the part where they do?" Like, they literally just went to the end of the karate tournament.
Can we fast forward to the part where they do karate?
Seriously, there's so much dicking around in all three of these movies.
Well, you know, that's part of the charm.
Oh, yeah?
And that's where the heart is. And I think everyone needs to get that. The karate is more fulfilling. when you have some, you know,
when you have some like other stuff that's going on,
when you see Mr. Miyagi like fixing the plumbing of some shitty apartment at the start of the first movie, you know, you got to build to it. You got to build to it.
In that second one, we are traveling Japan. We are looking around, looking at all the sites, meeting all sorts of interesting people.
Oh yeah,
it's like a Vice documentary.
Man, how about that's a sequel? They go to North Korea.
Oh, with the Karate Kid?
Yeah.
Nice.
He goes to some sort of fighting tournament in North Korea.
Oh, sign me up.
You know what?
They're put to the sword anyway.
Yeah, no, they're totally executed.
I feel like Daniel-san is one of those like really tough guys, white guys that gets friends with one minority and thinks he's cool with everybody.
Oh, yeah.
One of those dudes. So he's like, "Oh, yeah, all my friends," and all, you know, he's going up to everybody. And everyone's like, "Get the fuck out of here, white guy." And he's like, "What? I do karate. Look at my cool bandana."
The one big slip that these movies make is making the movies all pick up where the last one left off.
Seconds after the last
yes.
one ended.
Oh, yeah.
Because by the time we get to part 3, it's supposed to still be like 1984 or whatever. This is 1989. Like, it's been a wild ride for Ralph Macchio, man. He's pushing 40 at this point, and he's just a little paunchier than he was when he got on the plane to leave Okinawa.
Yeah, he's still wearing those skinny jeans, though, and that's not a good idea.
Like, they're skinny jeans that kind of just look like mom jeans on a guy.
I thought he was like
really high-waisted.
I thought he was like late 20s or early 30 in this or something.
He's in his. I think it's like I think he's like 31 or something like that.
Yeah,
I thought he was closer to like 35 years old.
Keep in mind he's playing a 17-year-old.
I mean, yeah. Either way you slice it, it's horrible. I got to look it up though. It's gonna drive me crazy.
Well, I could tell you right off the bat, Ralph Macchio was born in 1961.
Tell him right off the bat.
Eric
has that information at his fingertips.
At my brain tips. That's
all right, so I mean, then 61 to
28.
Yeah, all right. I mean, he at least looks like he's in his mid-30s, though, man.
That's the weird thing when you think about, like, you think about this or like Beverly Hills 90210, which I'm always thinking about. Like, could you imagine, as we're all 30 years old in this room, like walking up to a set and then like having this go on set and be like, "Oh man, I got this math test. I'm so worried about it. I'm just in high school now."
Yeah, like you get to set and they're like, "All right, Andrew, like here's your backpack that your character Corey has to wear." Be like, what? I haven't worn a backpack in fucking 10 years.
Man, if we were in a high school drama, it'd be called Lunchroom.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, every episode starts and ends in the lunchroom.
Mm-hmm. And
We can branch out and do other things while that's happening, like throughout the episode. It always starts and ends at the lunchroom.
I'm always eating French bread pizza.
French bread pizza and a shitty hamburger with one slice of individually packaged American cheese on it.
Hashing out your problems with sloppy joes. I'm kind of pitching this to you, executive listening. I can play a 16-year-old.
Hey, did you hear this kid giving an idea on We Hate Movies? Yeah, it sounds terrible. Let's move on.
Why were you listening? I don't know.
I think we'd be a great fit for the CW.
Oh, man.
Dude, I would love to have a show. Dude, if we had Lunchroom follow the Carrie Diaries, like if the Carrie Diaries were our lead-in, can you imagine the numbers?
It would be fantastic. And honestly, more sexual intrigue on the Lunchroom.
It would be the three of us as teens, and then Chris Cabot as the principal, the put-upon principal.
And it would be great because we all totally look the same age, and it's just like, here's Principal Cabin, and he's just this dude who looks exactly like us. Bravo idea we just came up with.
So the movie starts,
Karate Kid 3.
What you want in a sequel is previously on The Karate Kid. It's 4 minutes of really, it's mostly the first movie. Is there any second movie?
No, it's pretty much all the first movie because it's a movie that's tied directly to, the villain of the first movie getting revenge. So they really have to, it's like
sort of
real
like Ra's al Ghul's plan coming to fruition through Bane and Talia.
Yeah, exactly right. It's like, forget all that shit that happened in Okinawa. Yeah, it was fun and he almost got laid and whatever, but it is back to suburban California, man.
Oh man, he was fucking really close.
Mm-hmm.
He actually went in his pants a few times. It was
really? Like Bob Jean.
More conversation like that on the Lunchroom, 6:30s and the CW network.
6:30s? That were before prime time?
Well, I don't know when the Carrie Diaries air. I don't know. That's like cartoons for kids now, right?
That's a primetime show.
Sex and filth. It's prime time?
Carrie Diaries?
Yeah.
That's like post 8 o'clock.
Does the CW exist in prime time?
Yeah, dude, that's where they got Arrow and Beauty and the Beast.
Oh shit!
And the originals is on there.
What is that?
That's another vampire show.
Jesus Christ with the vampires! Can we just already with the vampires?
No.
So
no, we can't.
Says the sniveling CW executive.
In case you're wondering,
no, I apologize, sir. You're doing God's work. We want a show. Okay, go on.
In the second movie begins with that hilarious scene where John Kreese, the crooked dojo master of the Cobra Kai, is trying to kill William Zabka in the parking lot. Like he's just like, "Hey, you kid, you totally just cost me $800. Yeah. I'm gonna choke the life out of you.
You're making me eat that registration fee."
There's so much of this movie and all of this series, except for the second one, just kind of a little off brand.
Mm-hmm.
Revolves around regional karate tournaments. One regional karate tournament.
It's just the All Valley, man.
Specific to the San Fernando Valley outside of Los Angeles. Like it's that specific.
It is such a location specific place for the stories to be told.
Yeah, we're not going to like the state competition or whatever.
We're not going national. How about nationals
yes.
in presumably Washington, D.C.? Can you imagine karate fighting on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial? Oh, yes, please.
And at nationals, he meets Chris Penn with a cowboy hat from Best of the Best. A little crossover. Get those two series together.
Travis not Bickle, but Travis.
Travis Bickle's there and he shoots up the tournament.
It's Travis Brickley.
Yes.
There we go. I got it.
And so basically, John Kreese, I don't know the actor's name. He's just John Kreese. He's choking the shit out of William Zabka. And Miyagi's like, "Hey, man, why don't you lighten the fuck up? Like, it's just like, if you want my cheap trophy, you can have it."
Yeah, you know what? Here's this trophy. I will go to the store that makes trophies for karate tournaments and buy another one for $60. I'll even throw in the other $6 for them to fucking put Daniel San's name on it. You can have this one that just says All Valley Champion 1984. You shallow fuck. John Kreese, you loser.
And then the first of many racist slurs against Japanese people. And I can't even, I'm not going to say it. It's one of the bad ones. It's one of the worst ones, I think. It might be the worst
It's
one.
a thing you go skiing down.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Because I'm a mountain?
Get out of here, you mountain.
You fucking mountain.
He's like, I'm going to kill you, you little mountain. And he's like, you know,
Yeah.
Miyagi's like, bring it, oh, you fucking fat white guy.
You fat fucking John Kreese, man. I don't understand how John Kreese gets to be the master of the Cobra Kai dojo. He is consistently out of shape through all of these movies. No wonder they always lose.
And by the way, the actor, I forget his name, but he's supposedly a notorious Hollywood a-hole. I'm serious. Look, side
For
note.
what reason?
The Bill Hader episode of Mark Maron's podcast.
I listened to it, yeah.
Dude, man, there's a story about him.
Oh, maybe I didn't listen to it carefully.
Yeah,
It's kind of the way I
it.
skim through WTFs.
It's some like horrific humiliation he puts Bill Hader through. It's
Oh,
kind
are
of-
you serious? Oh,
Yeah.
now I hate this guy even more. This
Yeah.
John
What did he
Kreese.
choke about in the parking lot? Like,
Call
hey,
him
Hater,
a-
you didn't make that joke right.
Hater, you fucking mountain.
You're all a bunch of mountains.
Shitty fucking mountains. The whole lot of you. You know, I could have been on Saturday Night Live.
No, you couldn't.
Fucking kill you.
You barely know karate. So basically, he like in really bad karate form, he's just like, I'm gonna kill you, and he puts both his fists through car windows, bleeding up a storm. Like Miyagi is like, I'm gonna fucking kill you right now, man. And he's like, oh man, here it comes, and he honks his nose, and it's cute. And they actually. That's the end of Karate Kid 2 is Danielson's like, live or die, man, live or die. And, you know, he honks the guy's nose. Because the guy definitely wishes for death at the end of Karate Kid 2.
He totally does, but you know, Mr. Miyagi, as we learned already in the next Karate Kid, he loves honking noses. That's his little gag, which he fucking doesn't do in this movie, by the way.
No, well, I mean, he does it. It's in the movie proper, this scene, so it's kind of in this movie.
Yeah, you're right, because we're doing this last time on the Karate Kid.
And, you know, we follow, instead of going with Daniel-san and Mr. Miyagi to Japan for their fun adventures, we just watch John Kreese's life go down the toilet. Like,
Man, this guy bottoms right out.
Oh, he's like living in he's at Skid Row.
Yeah, the dojo is now on Skid Row.
It looks like in Hider in the House where Gary Busey's living in that transient hotel. It's kind of like that. It's just like the bad part out. By the way, his sneakers are not impeccable white. They're just grungy and dirty. He's really, really hitting hard times, which is interesting too, because it's been like less than a year, according to the chronology of all
It's
this.
been so less than a year. Like, Karate Kid 1 ends. Karate Kid 2, they're like, nah, let's go to Japan. And they go and they do it.
for like a month, maybe a month. Let's
It's
give
a
it
month tops, right? And then
Yeah.
they come back. When we first meet Daniel-san and Mr. Miyagi in part 3, they're literally coming. They're at the airport. They're coming back from Okinawa.
Yeah.
Right.
And, you know, he's explaining like where the girl is, because, you know, you're not going to bring back all the characters, all the beloved characters from Karate Kid Part 2. But so seriously, that's like a month. And you're telling me in a month, John Kreese has bottomed out this fucking hard? Those shoes are that worn?
You got it, but here's the thing: is what you don't see. The way they film that parking lot scene's really tight on Mr. Miyagi and John Kreese. You fucking pan out. It's William Zabka's parents with their jaws dropped. Like, oh my god, what has been going on at that karate studio?
We thought he was just taking fighting lessons.
I didn't know it went this deep. And then everybody knew that 60 Minutes was in his face. Maybe like a Help Me Howard situation, or like the local news is just getting in his...
not Mythbusters, but like, you know, those Crime Stoppers
Oh
guys.
yeah, absolutely. Where like John Kreese is trying to go into a movie theater, like, hey, why are you hitting kids? And he's like, get out, leave me alone.
Oh yeah, he's definitely like punched a tabloid journalist. There was a whole scandal about that too.
So he's like literally at the end of his rope, and he's like, I guess I'll go to my multi-millionaire friend. And everyone in the audience is like, say what? And he rolls up to this mansion where Eric, he's your favorite. He's my favorite too, but Eric, you can take it.
Well. I mean, how do you introduce a man like Terry Silver? I mean, it's kind of, it's downright hard, because this is a man that's just incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the richest villain I've seen in a while.
He's loaded. He's like
amazing.
unrealistically loaded.
Yes.
This guy.
He's young. He was
Yep.
born in 1962.
Which is
He's like
literally a year younger than Ralph Macchio.
But
Top-
also in
yeah.
this movie playing a Vietnam veteran.
So he's playing. Yeah, he's playing way older. Like he's like in his. He's like 27 or something, doing Thomas Ian Griffith playing this role.
Yeah, realistically.
Knocking this role out of the park. I'll step on your foot there just 1 second. He knocked it out of the park.
Feel free to step away.
So realistically, though, right? Like the first movie is 1984. They're gone for a month, depending upon like how long the first movie takes place, and then they're gone for a month, give or take, in the second movie. So total tops, it's 1985.
Yeah,
right.
So theoretically, like, how old does John Kreese or not John Kreese, Terry Silver have to be if he was a Vietnam veteran? Like, what age is this actor playing right now?
Well, I mean, the youngest possible is what, like 18 during Vietnam,
right.
So that's
so 18 at the end of Vietnam.
Yeah,
right.
So you could be 32, 33, possibly.
Even that's like pushing it.
It's
But,
really
like,
Such a fucking stretch.
Because he's old war buddies. Kreese was in Vietnam, and he's like, "Oh man, you saved my ass so many times." So he wasn't in like Vietnam in a day for a day.
Yeah,
he didn't just show
I
up
feel
at
like
the fall
they
of
did,
he
like,
was there on a business trip.
His parents took him.
I
Yes,
feel like
his
it was like the way they speak about it, right? It's like they've done a couple of tours together.
Yeah.
There's no way this actor was in Vietnam.
It's insane.
It's really dumb. But anyway, he's the greatest of all time.
He's also he's knee deep in nuclear waste. He disposes of it illegally. That's where he makes all of his money, and he's buying and selling things. And he's doing this kind of cool, like, I'm gonna fight 3 guys at once because that's my job. Like, this is my workout. It's beat the shit out of people.
Yeah, you just come at me with your big padded like dog suit, and I just beat the shit out of you by my cool pool that I have.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of cool pools and the ambiance of Terry Silver, I noticed that the walls in his house suspiciously look like the walls in Blade Runner. It is weird. It's just like L.A. futurism.
He's got Daryl Hannah dressed up like a doll in one of the rooms.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
I bet keeps that under lock and key.
There's a bunch of plaques on the wall because for 5 consecutive years he's won the All Valley Date Rapist of the Year award.
Well, we haven't described the man. He's very tall and lanky, and he's got the greatest ponytail.
He looks like the guy.
It's a power tail.
It's a power tail.
It's
You're
an
right.
80s power tail.
He looks like
very
the guy
rare.
who played Tommy the Green and White Power Ranger.
Yes, he does.
It's the same power tail on that kid too. Absolutely. This power tail. You know what? It's not that Terry Silver is great at business. It's that power tail. If you possess the power tail, man, like, one ring to rule them all, right? Let's one tail to rule all of the valley.
Oh, and it was born in war too. That's when he grew it out, probably in the heat of combat.
Absolutely.
That's why John Kreese is a loser in this movie. He's got a 1980s soccer mom haircut throughout this whole movie.
He actually has the haircut of the lady who looks the lady who played Mrs. Voorhees in the first Friday the 13th movie. I mean, god damn, I could not stress how much of a loser John Kreese
Well, he
is.
shows up to his buddy's place. Apparently, Terry Silver owned the Cobra Kai the whole time. Like, obviously, where's John Kreese getting this money? Like,
Yeah.
It's probably the 4th time. Like, he's like, let me open a dojo. He's like, yeah, I'll let you open it.
Fine, you can open another fucking dojo, John.
Just
Jesus.
don't choke kids out after karate. Like, you want to teach karate to kids? I think that's a great goal. I think you're really good at it. Just fucking calm down a little bit, John.
Well, yeah, and what I think this conversation like happens over the phone, and Terry Silver is in a sauna on this gigantic cell phone.
Oh yeah,
and he's just in a towel. He's got like maybe a little ring on. Like this is like 80s Power Throne, right? Like you're talking on a portable phone. Number 1, number 2, you're surrounded by moisture.
yeah.
Number
Also-
3, you're easily naked, accessibly naked.
Oh yeah, and guaranteed. By the way, that's his private sauna. There's other saunas in this mansion where he brings ladies to,
Oh, fuck
but
yeah.
the only ass that touches the stone in this sauna are the 2 cheeks that belong to Terry Silver.
Right? I bet the ass countertop there's all plated silver.
and he's just masturbating in it furiously.
all the time.
Big time.
So yeah,
Big
John
time.
Kreese shows up. He's got a duffel bag. He's like, "Yeah, I'm leaving town. I've lost it all." He's like, "I'm sorry. I'll pay you back." And he's like, "What are you talking about, John?" You know, he's like, he's actually he's a really good friend. Say what you want about Terry Silver in this movie,
Yes.
and he gets up to some dastardly things. He's a really good friend to John Kreese.
He's a great friend.
Yeah, you know what?
He's
I
a
want a
great
friend
character.
like this.
Mhm.
I mean, he's going to make me do all sorts of heinous shit that I'll regret, but he's a guy that's going to help you out of a jam.
The first 2 acts of this movie, he sends John Kreese to Tahiti. He's like, "You know what, John? You're overworked. You're choking kids out in parking lots. I saw you on Pix 11 News.
Mm-hmm.
You don't look good. You look puffy. Let's get you to Tahiti. You'll go." So he goes to Tahiti. He's like, "And I'm gonna get revenge on this LaRusso kid and this mountain that screwed you over." Because Terry Silver, here's a problem with Terry Silver. He's incredibly racist.
Oh,
You know what? Yeah, you know what? Savvy businessman, great power tail, amazing pad, generous to his wait staff that works around him at the holidays, probably. Huge racist.
And
Huge fucking racist.
And here's a problem. It's the same thing you'll get. White guys that are into karate that are racist against Asian people deserve a certain kind of hell.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just
Absolutely.
you're buying into the culture anyway.
Fucking bite the hand that feeds you. Especially if you're making a fortune off of opening fucking dojo chains.
if you're going to be racist, be specific about it. You know, I can maybe get, you know, all right, maybe the Vietnamese, you know, like you were there. I can get, you know, I'm not saying it's right, but I can understand
Do you
why.
think that is the root of his racism because he's supposedly a Vietnam veteran?
I think it was both of their, maybe like both of them. That's like their first taste of Asian culture, you know, like they're there, they're seeing the women, and then they go to Japan, and then they're like, oh, hey.
It's because they come from a long line of white guy karates. That's what the Cobra Kai is. You never see an Asian guy anywhere near a Cobra Kai.
No,
unless
not
he's
at
getting
all.
thrown out.
Unless he's getting choked out and then thrown out.
So
It's the old choke and throw.
So as John Kreese is boarding a plane to Tahiti, and Terry Silver's like, I'm going to ruin this LaRusso kid. I'm going to ruin that his instructor. I'm going to make him. He's like, I'm going to make him beg for mercy. He's like, I'm going to drive a wedge between them. The old man is going to miss the kid, and the kid's going to turn against the old man. He's got this Machiavellian scheme ready to go because his friend is on hard time.
Forecasting the whole 2-hour movie.
And you know what? This is on John Kreese, because John Kreese should be like, hey, man, like, I really appreciate you helping me out. It'd be great to open another dojo, get me back on my feet. But let's not live in the past and fucking give a shit about the All Valley Karate Tournament from last year.
Exactly.
Which this kid just won. He happened to be the winner of this tournament.
He just won it. You know what? Last year, there was a different winner. And you know what? The next year, there's going to be possibly a different winner. You're right. He's hung up in the past, and it's dangerous.
It's like
It's a really slippery mountain.
But I mean, maybe now you said they came from a long line of white guy karate.
Yeah.
Maybe Cobra Kai has won the All Valley Karate Tournament
every
since like
year.
1910. He's
About 1910 doing karate tournaments, huh?
it was
I'm just
there.
imagining this guy that looks like a 1970s Larry Bird in a Cobra Kai gi holding the championship.
Yeah.
See, but here's the other problem about the Cobra Kai, and it definitely comes into play at the end of this movie for sure. Their whole fascination with, like, not only, right, do we need to be the best and have the champion of the All Valley Karate Tournament, right, we also have to look the part, right? It was like when Jay-Z was starting up his record label and they would rent limos and spend all their money on champagne to make it look like they were way more successful than they actually were at the time. That's what the Cobra Kai does. At the end of this movie, they're throwing fucking Cobra Kai t-shirts into the auditorium. Oh, we're opening all these chains, blah, blah,
We're
blah.
back, baby.
Yeah. How about this, Terry Silver and John Kreese? A solid business model. Get one chain back up and running, because that one on Skid Row has fallen to shit, and there's no bringing this one back. Get a place in a mini mall somewhere.
Get out of the valley first and foremost.
Yes.
Let's leave all this behind, because that's where they know you've been choking kids. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you throw these out like, hey, isn't I mean, it's been a year, but I'm pretty sure at the end of this time last year, that guy over there had a kid in his bicep.
Oh, and yeah, and because that's the other thing, right? I know it's the 1980s, and karate is massive in America. I mean, that's why these movies exist.
Oh, yeah.
It was in real life massive at this time. But
it's part of the GDP.
It's a small community, though. You know what I mean? Like, everybody knows that the guy from the Cobra Kai dojo choked a kid, not just a kid, a student in the parking lot. If I'm a parent in the Valley, I'm sending my kid to any dojo, just not Cobra Kai.
Terry Silver should have the sense to be like, listen, we'll open a new dojo, but it's gonna be in Phoenix, Arizona.
Exactly.
And it's not called Cobra Kai. We're
exactly.
rebranding.
You need to rebrand. Exactly right. Printing up Cobra Kai t-shirts, you fucking morons.
So Daniel's son comes back, and they go back to their apartment complex, and LaRusso, Daniel's like, oh yeah, I can't wait. He was like, I can't wait to see my mom. Oh man, my mom wasn't in the last movie, but I promise you guys, she's gonna be in this one.
All the fans from the first movie that really loved the lady who played my mom.
All the Mrs. LaRusso fans.
All the Mrs. LaRusso heads out there.
Strap in and get disappointed.
Instead, they run into Mrs. Choate from Seinfeld in the parking lot.
And she tells them that
Is she in the first movie?
I don't know.
All right.
And she's like, she's just like,
yeah, sure, why not?
The house burned down, you've got nothing left. And then, LaRusso's like, oh, how can this get any worse? And then there's this awkward scene where I love when this happens in movies. It's when somebody's on the other end of the phone and they're just like, yeah, I'm sorry. I can't make the movie this time, guys.
Mm-hmm.
We got all this homework. I really can't make the movie.
It's amazing because Mrs. LaRusso has gone to aid an uncle of hers who's just been diagnosed with emphysema. And it's so awesome because she's like, oh, Daniel, I'm so glad you're back from Okinawa. Oh, it's fantastic. Oh, was your flight great? Yeah, Uncle Harry's here. And while she's just flapping her gums, talking to Daniel-san, this old man in the background is literally choking to death. It's just this actor like, "Urgh, urgh." And she's just like, oh yeah, no, he says hello. Urgh. I'll make the next movie. Urgh. And then they hang up, and that's the last you see of this woman.
Any chance I can be Hillary Swank's godmother? Oh.
Yeah.
Series over, right? For this lady.
She's gone, man.
Whatever.
And
swan song.
For some reason, I mean, Daniel's like about to start college, and she's like, oh, you just stay with your good friend Mr. Miyagi. Nothing's weird about you going on vacation with this 70-year-old man. Talk to you later.
Oh my god.
And you can tell, by the way, poor Pat Morita, or poor Mr. Miyagi,
yeah,
man.
he just wants to get down
pissed.
to some fucking. I
mean,
like,
you're damn right he does.
He's had this little white shadow following him around. You know what I mean? Like,
and it's like, dude, you're going to the homeland. You're going back to Okinawa. Yeah. You got this fucking turd with you this whole time.
Yeah, you can't go back to your home turf and investigate blood feuds with some gaijin asshole.
This kid's ordering California rolls, and you're like, oh fuck,
Jesus fucking Christ, the California roll. Really, Daniel-san, really? California roll? What are we in the mall food court?
A sushi restaurant. You're asking for a fork?
But also, yeah, you're going to investigate the blood feud, but you're also looking for a lady who reminds you a little bit of your dead wife. Let's be realistic.
Sure.
And the whole time you got this dweeb with you who refuses to be good at karate except for only a couple times when it really counts.
That's a great point. And that's kind of what the big crux of the problem with this movie. I get, like, for the first movie, Ralph Macchio doesn't have to be good at karate because, like,
the whole point.
He's learning. Yeah, he's learning from a book.
He's learning from a...
But I'm trying to kick from a book. You're not going to do anything with that.
When they come back to you after it's a mega success and they're like, hey, Ralph, here's a contract for 2 more movies. We're going to put 4 more hours of you doing karate on screen.
Oh, yeah.
You think you want to get into a program? You think you want to, like, maybe figure out how to do some shit? This guy doesn't know anything about karate.
Yeah, I'll get around to it. First, I'm going to explore other aspects of the character, like taking girls to arcades. And not getting anywhere with it.
Just nowhere. Like, the worst thing to happen to him, Elizabeth Shue just left this franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She goes to college or what have you.
That's the thing, is everyone from the franchise and everyone's moving on with their lives. They're doing things. They're getting stuff together. he's so hung up on this idea of being the Karate Kid because he won that one stupid goddamn tournament.
It's like Al Bundy in that fucking football game, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He's just going to be talking about that first All Valley tournament forever.
But
Yes.
get good at it. Like, you know what I mean? Learn what a fucking he should do at least one roundhouse in this movie. You know what I mean? Like,
There's nothing.
and you know who's also been karate? Terry Silver. Thomas Ian Griffith, the actor, is fucking high kicking, low kicking.
Oh, he's
doing
beat-
some cool sweeps.
He's beating the shit out of that wooden dummy in this movie. It's
Like-
awesome.
And so Daniel San is he moves into Mr. Miyagi, and like Miyagi lost a lot of money on this apartment complex. He kind of took a bath on it, to be honest with you. And you know, all he's got is 14 old cars in his driveway from like pristine 1940s cars.
We're talking Jay Leno cars,
They
right?
are
we are.
Jay Leno cars.
You're total Jay Leno.
It's a Jay Leno car because it's an old classic car, but when you open the trunk, there's just a bunch of denim shirts inside it. A lot of backups. In break glass in case of mustard.
you got to get rid of all that leather upholstery and put in denim. Just
Denim.
indigo denim.
Denim seat cushions.
Maybe on the inside there's like a sweet neon pink like liner, like a little tubing to get your seat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cassette,
Yes.
cassette tape of Kevin Eubanks.
Kevin Eubanks solo stuff.
Is
Where
Kevin Eubanks putting out records?
I'm sure he's got
Yeah.
it.
I'm sure he's probably playing some, you know,
Man,
some rink-a-dink town.
I think, and not to talk about this too much, but I think the new Tonight Show is no fucking contest to the Jay Leno Tonight Show.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, the Leno way better. That was a joke.
I'll tell you what, though, one thing right away: The Roots versus Kevin Eubanks.
Yes.
Huge improvement. And then whoever that dude was in those bastard Leno years after he shafted O'Brien.
Oh
there.
yeah, I have no idea.
Because it wasn't Eubanks.
no,
He was,
yeah,
he was
Eubanks-
not asked.
He
back.
was busy
He
making
was.
records in Japan.
He was asked back, and he was like, "No."
He was like, you know what? I have respect for Conan O'Brien. I refuse to do this new Tonight Show. So we're moving in.
We're moving in, and you know, he's like, oh, you know, Pat Morita's like, oh, you excited for college tomorrow? And he's like, yeah, I'm so excited for college. Mr. Miyagi, what are you gonna do? And he's like, oh, you know, I always kind of had this dream. You know, it's a little silly. I gotta start all over, but I always wanted to open a bonsai shop. You know, like really, that's what I always wanted. And he's like, say, that sounds like a bad business. And he hightails it to a bank. He takes all of his college money, which you're not entirely sure. Did the mother give him the college money, or was this like just the money he saved up himself?
I don't know.
Karate winnings.
No, that's what I was about to say. Don't anyone dare say it's karate winnings. You're not paying for college on karate winnings.
Can you
That's the
pay
thing.
for college with a fucking pizza gift certificate to Little Luigi's? Like a $20 one?
It's only if you're trying to take college courses in the valley.
Hey, dude,
It's a 10-mile proximity around Luigi's in the valley.
and no shit, that comes with a 3-liter of soda. You don't do not see that often.
Dude, we retired, thankfully, the 3-liter of
Man,
soda.
I majored in half-price hot wings because I paid my way through karate winnings.
But that's the thing. It's like $1,500, maybe $3,000
Tops.
That's the thing. I don't know if it was ever like, oh, this is going to pay my way through college or anything. But like, it's a start. He can enroll in some classes, start getting his life, start figuring out what he wants to do with his life, because he's not going to be able to fucking hang out with Mr. Miyagi and go to karate,
And
tournaments.
also, he's not that good at karate, so he can't be a dojo master.
He's not being taught karate. He's on this, still doing this elliptical, obscure program that Mr. Miyagi has that doesn't have a belt system, that doesn't have any tests. And it's
No,
just
the man's a fucking handyman
Exactly.
who also happens to know karate.
That's what he should be doing. He should be learning to be a handyman.
Dude, you know what? Pick up a trade, honestly.
Yeah, I
Mr.
mean-
Miyagi can teach you how to fix that sink.
He made him sand all of his goddamn decks.
You're
out
right.
back. Why not become a deck sander?
By the way, Mr. Miyagi's pad in this movie, A triple plus.
Oh, yeah.
This house they're living in, that backyard. Oh, I'm jealous.
It's got a bunch of cool Japanese doors. He put a lot of money into this pad.
Oh yeah, and
that did not just exist in the valley.
That's that hard-working immigrant gumption, right?
Exactly.
You work hard enough in this country. Once you get here, you get yourself a fleet of Jay Leno cars. You could get
a bunch of karate trophies.
Yeah, you can
sweet house.
Trick out your pad.
I don't know where he's getting those Jay Leno cars, but he has way too many of them.
And that's the thing. He's crying poverty. And I mean, I'm sorry, dude, but you've got 12 cars, 12 1960s vintage cars in the backyard. So,
do you think that shit's hot?
They might be hot. He can't move them just yet.
He sells one in this movie, and he really does act like it ain't no thing.
Of course it
like
isn't.
Daniel sounds like, holy fuck, you sold that fucking car? Oh my God. And he's like,
Yeah,
it's all right.
Got some magic beans.
So basically, Danielson puts his whole entire college fund into starting this bonsai business in real Skid Row.
Back to Skid Row.
Yeah,
Other side of the train tracks is where we go.
He goes over Miyagi's helmet and gets this fucking lease.
Yes.
And it's just like he presents it as a present, like a wrapped present. Oh, here you go. Yeah, it's your dreams.
Your dream, Mr. Miyagi. You always wanted to run the bonsai shop. Here's a bonsai shop. I gave it 2 years.
It'd be great if then Mr. Miyagi's just like, well, I think you kind of misunderstood what I said there, Daniel-san, about being my dream and everything. I kind of was just talking out loud. I don't really want to do this. I was thinking,
but also maybe he meant in Japan, where people buy bonsai trees.
Well, that's a business to have.
Yeah, this is an instantly failing business.
You know what it is, by the way? This is kind of funny because the interior of the shop reminded me a lot of in Pray for Death, the place that family moves into.
Yeah.
Coincidentally, also a Japanese family to open the Japanese restaurant.
They are often conned here, apparently.
In this Houston slum.
Yeah.
It's like the same kind of thing. It's like, what are you doing opening that kind of store in this neighborhood? No one's going to give a shit. And he's like, oh, well, Mr. Miyagi, you got to just watch out, man. It's really coming up, this neighborhood. It's really gentrifying. A lot of people are going to be moving here soon. We're on the ground floor, Mr. Miyagi, ground floor. And Mr. Miyagi, in all his infinite wisdom, you can see in his eyes, he's just looking like this fucking stupid kid. God damn it. I'm just saddled with this kid. How did this happen? Go live with the dying uncle. Why am I your fucking guardian?
His only way out is death at this point.
It really is.
Mr. Miyagi, coincidentally, is now praying for death himself.
Yes, he's going to commit seppuku.
I really think Mr. Miyagi has some. He's very suspicious about this dying uncle scenario. Like, oh yeah, Miss LaRusso, now your uncle's dying, huh? How much longer do I have to fucking follow this kid around? Incidentally, you owe me $3,000 for a trip to fucking Okinawa. FYI.
Yeah, exactly. I expect to be compensated for this ticket, by the way. Hey, Mrs. LaRusso, you know how expensive it is to fly to fucking Japan? I don't give a shit if it was from California. That's not cheap. Pay up. And by the way, all those karate lessons I gave for free,
I've been feeding this kid for 4 fucking months. Or they're 16 at this point. My God.
It's outrageous. She just takes advantage of this little old man.
And he's like, Mr. Miyagi does the right thing. And he's like, because LaRusso is such an idiot. He's like, I'm going to give up my college education because I'm like absolutely obsessed with this old man.
Oh,
and I have to give him everything that I think he may want. And he's like, well, I guess, he's like, this is your business, Mr. Miyagi. Congratulations, you're a businessman. And he's like, well, I mean, you have to be my partner. Like, that's how this would work. If you're putting up the money. He's like, oh, really? Oh, jeez. Oh, great. You're such a great guy, Mr. Miyagi. He's like, that's business, man. That's business, baby.
Mr. Miyagi would be great. In the daytime, we can work at the bonsai store. Oh, and then we come back to your house at night, Mr. Miyagi. We'll make a bunch of dinner. And then we can practice karate in the backyard together. Mr. Miyagi, it's going to be great. I won't let you down, Mr. Miyagi. I promise.
And on weekends, we'll compete in tournaments. Because now, on top of this, he's basically bribed off the old man. Oh, it'll be a cinch for him to sign off on this karate tournament application.
Oh, absolutely.
And Miyagi, rightfully so, is not having it.
He's like, what are you fucking kidding me? The last time this happened, you barely won. You barely beat William Zabka. I got you out of there. Skin of your sack, kid. Then you followed me when I tried to put this blood feud to rest. And again, skin of your sack, made it out alive fighting that fucking guy over there. You want to do this a third time? It ain't third time's a charm now, kid.
But it's also, you're going to be the weird older guy going back to the karate tournament?
Oh, he's the Wooderson of the fucking All Valley Karate Tournament.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh man, I love fighting kids. The older I get, they stay the same age.
Older I get, the karate stays the same age.
And the best part about it is there's some bullshit rule which makes absolutely no sense for this tournament, which is the champion of last year doesn't have to fight anybody else. The whole tournament bracket, the whole crazy thing. And then you get to fight the winner of last year.
And it's such horseshit, too, because he comes in, Daniel-san, and he's like, Mr. Miyagi, it's crazy. There's this new rule that they made up. And I'm like, yeah, that's because you don't want to do that many fucking karate scenes, Macchio. I know what that's about, baby. You just want to sit in and then just slide in right at the end, which is such crap. Because if you think about it, our main man, Kevin Barnes, right? He's got to fight in the fucking tournament.
Yeah.
All the way up.
Oh, you mean the bad boy of karate?
The bad boy of karate himself.
Karate's bad boy, Mike Barnes.
Oh, Mike Barnes, excuse me.
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, if you're Mike Barnes, man, and you're busting balls through this tournament to fucking get to fight, the Karate Kid, and he's just sitting there eating fucking burritos on the bench while Mr. Miyagi folds his arms and fucking stares out at the door.
Yeah.
How is this my life? He's just looking staring out into space. I am back here again. It's been 365 days, and I'm back in this red fucking karate tournament.
So, I feel like now we gotta set up Karate's bad boy, Mike Barnes.
Oh, please.
Oh, yeah.
This is right around the right time.
It's my favorite scene in the movie is the introduction of Mike Barnes.
We got to go back to the evil castle of Terry Silver.
Castle Silver Skull.
There's a couple lightning bolts and thunder outside.
There's a drawbridge.
So, because he's such an evil millionaire, he's got to always be surrounded, nearly nude in moisture. So he's in a bathtub this time on the phone.
This bubble bath is quintessential 80s villain, and I love every frame of this movie.
And he's got an old lady next to him, like his secretary is dictating notes. He's one of those weird guys that gets out of the bath, his dick's just out.
Yep.
And
Oh yeah.
It's not for really any kind of sexual pleasure, but the idea that it's out, and she has to look at it. She's getting paid to look at it.
It's a power play.
It's a power play.
Yeah, he is not by any stretch of the imagination thinking about trying to get with this old lady, but it's just so he knows that she knows she has to look at his dick.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And you know what? That's why this guy's a success.
That's
that
the power
and dumping toxic sludge everywhere.
It's that confidence.
That power
all
tail
confidence.
extends from his cerebellum out.
And it goes down to his pubes.
Mm-hmm. It's one gorgeous
connects
trail.
in the back.
So she's like, Master Silver, this commission is indicting you, that commission is indicting you. You just got 40 grand from this, 50 grand from that. And she's like, oh, and on to new business of trying to ruin the life of a nearly destitute Asian man and his 17-year-old companion. And he's like, now we're talking what I want to talk about.
Finally, the fun part of my workday.
Abusing the children and the elderly.
Fucking with poor people.
Yeah.
Because they sort of crossed my maniac friend.
Yeah, my war criminal buddy.
So he's inspired because he sees Mike Barnes' picture in a magazine.
Yes, he asks this older woman to get him all the karate magazine, the teen karate magazines, and Tiger Beat and whatever the fuck else.
Because again, by the way, it's 1980s America, and we have not one, but at least 5 separate karate-related periodicals.
Karate-related periodicals.
What a time to be alive. That's all I'm going to say.
But this old lady is a little bit suspicious, right? When he's like, give me all those teen karate magazines. I want to ruin this kid's life. And she's like, yes, Master Silver.
I'm doing research for a book I'm writing.
So he flips one open and he sees a full page spread. Full page spread of Karate's bad boy, Mike Barnes. He's like, beautiful.
He's beautiful, and it's beautiful that he fits into my plan.
And
I'm hard. I mean, get me Mike Barnes.
So they get Mike Barnes.
Terry
Do
Silver
they ever?
Is still in the bathtub.
Yep,
by the way.
Yep. For days.
When you're an ultra success story like Terry Silver, you can take several meetings while in the bath. He's making the secretary do the dictation of that threatening letter he's composing to whatever DA he's paying off, and then they're like, "Oh, well, Mr. Barnes is here to see you," and he has these two like henchmen escort this guy in. Does not get out of the bubble bath.
He's hired, to my knowledge, he's hired 2 teen henchmen just for this task.
Yep.
I mean, the amount of time and money Terry Silver is putting in to ruining this kid's life is astounding.
It's not just making a plan, it's engineering a downfall. And there's a big difference.
And he comes in, he looks a lot like Cody from Step by Step, by the way.
He totally does.
Who's also a karate star in his own right.
That guy was a karate guy, and he's in not just one kickboxing related movie also. Sasha Mitchell, I believe his name is.
So he comes in and he's kind of telling Silver where to get off. He's like, Silver offers him like 25% in all of Cobra Kai's stock,
yes.
Which I mean is fucking worthless at this point.
It's worthless because what the T-shirts? You want 25% of the T-shirts they've had made up?
Oh, is
well,
it
the idea? I think the idea is Karate's bad boy Mike Barnes decimates LaRusso in the ring. Cobra Kai reclaims the throne that they've had since 1910, and then boom, sails through the roof. Everyone wants Cobra Kai karate again.
Hey, Eric, you know what I call that? A pipe dream.
Well, it's time to lay it down.
John is just such a good guy. I've got to get him on his feet. I know I'm losing money on this venture.
Losing tens of thousands of dollars. Because also, by the way, you got to figure these teen henchmen, they don't come cheap. You're asking these kids to do all sorts of like shitty, evil things.
The teen henchmen, Dennis and Snake, my 2 favorites.
Snake, by the way, portrayed by the director's son.
Yes.
Ew.
Yeah.
We know what that's like. So basically, Mike Barnes like talks him in. He's like, "All right, you're in on my plan," and like this is when the wheels start going in motion. So LaRusso, even though he's fucking 19 years old, still has to do everything Miyagi says. So he's like, "Well, I guess I really do want to do the karate tournament. I did kind of just give him a business, but Mr. Miyagi said no, so I guess I gotta say no."
Yeah, he comes around to it comes around to saying no to it.
Mm-hmm.
To his credit, like within a day or so,
yeah.
And that's good for him. He like burns it, and around this time, he also gets this harebrained scheme of, let's focus on the bonsai business, and to make this business a real success, we need an authentic, original bonsai tree,
right?
That Mr. Miyagi took from Okinawa and planted in Devil's Cauldron.
And you know what? Here's the thing. I appreciate Japanese botany as much as the next person.
Sure.
But you know what I'm tuning into this movie for? Some fucking karate. And this movie it's Ralph Macchio basically being like, well, my college education is out the window because I invested in this business against Mr. Miyagi's wishes. I am just going to, he resigns himself to becoming a bonsai guy. Like he's like, just teach me everything you know about bonsai trees, Mr. Miyagi. This is the living I'm going to make for myself now. You fucking idiot ridiculous. Teenager.
Well, now that we're getting into the bonsai business, I forgot we have to talk about the girl across the street.
Jesus.
The girl who runs the pottery shop or works there anyway.
Yeah, just the Skid Row has 2 things: a bonsai tree store and a novelty pot store.
Everything else,
an adult bookstore.
Yeah, there's an adult bookstore and 6 liquor stores, all of which cash checks for you.
All of which Miyagi visits nightly.
Well, you keep thinking about that dead wife, dude.
Every day Miyagi comes in, there's a homeless guy jerking off in the fucking bonsai store. And he's like, "I want to keep doing it until you're a liquor store." And he's like, "Get out of here."
By the way, I just want to quickly interject that the reason this movie is a failure, chiefly and paramountly, is this is probably the only one that I can remember that Miyagi doesn't have a drunken breakdown where he sings, cries, remembers the war and his dead wife.
It's true. And actually the one part where like he holds up a picture frame and he's like, "I feel like I'm losing you again," and blah, 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 and all this shit. And you're like, all right, here we go. It's the downward drunken wife spiral. And then it cuts to what he's looking at, and it's a picture of him and Daniel-san Fucking come on, Miyagi. Cry over that dead wife.
That's what I'm paying my ticket for. That and karate, which you're not at all giving me.
If I can't have karate, the least you can give me is a drunken breakdown.
You know what you also won't get in this Karate Kid movie? Not only will you not get karate, not only will you not get Miyagi crying over his dead wife, you will not get any kind of romance whatsoever, because this girl, he shows up and he has his awkward, like, LaRusso charms. Hey, I kind of own that store with the greatest guy. He's talking to Mr. Miyagi.
Oh, my best friend in the world, Mr. Miyagi. You got to meet him. He's a great guy. Love him to death.
I understand you're in college and you're here from Ohio, but no, not for me. I hang out with a 70-year-old man all the time.
7 days a week, and you can put money on it.
And I'm investing in a failing plant shop.
And it's such horseshit, and you can read up on the production of this movie a little bit. And the whole thing is, the original script is Daniel-san goes across the street because Mr. Miyagi needs a pot for his plant shop, you know what I mean? And they're thinking about making like a special brand of pots with their insignia on it. So Daniel-san's got to go do the fucking corporate research because he's a business partner in this failing sinking ship of a flower shop. Right? So he goes over there.
A flower shop would make money, but go on.
Yeah. It's a bonsai shop, excuse me. And he goes over there, and there's this gorgeous redheaded girl, and she falls for him, and they get down to some fucking. But Ralph Macchio was concerned that his wife would have a problem with it and insisted that they switch it in the script so that it was a platonic relationship. Ralph Macchio, don't you think your wife understands that you're an actor?
Yeah.
And this shit's paying the fucking bills, dude.
Does she know that it's not? You're not in a hardcore movie.
Yeah, totally. It's the Karate Kid 3. There's just going to be some innocent kissing at the mall.
Tops.
Horse shit.
You don't even need kissing at the mall, but just have them be in a relationship and they hold hands. It's fucking fine. But like, so he asks her on a date. And she's like, yeah, that sounds great. And he goes to pick her up, and it's great because he's like, oh, Mr. Miyagi, thanks. He borrows a fucking Hawaiian shirt from Mr. Miyagi.
And
it looks like shit.
He looks like fucking, he looks like he belongs on Skid Row with this shirt. And it's such shit. And I don't know if it's like, he just agrees with everything Mr. Miyagi says and does, right? Or he's trying to be nice. But I think you're right. He's like so brainwashed because he's like, oh, Mr. Miyagi, this shirt's so great. I love this shirt, Mr. Miyagi. Everything about it makes me look so cool. I'm like, you look like a fucking moron in that shirt, Daniel-san.
You look like Weird Al Yankovic. And you smell like an old man. Like,
yeah, guaranteed Mr. Miyagi's got a whole lot of like Old Spice bomb. Like not new cool Old Spice, old dirty bastard 80s Old Spice. Just all over his body. You smell like a dog track, Daniel-san.
And he shows up and this girl looks at him and gets a whiff and she's like, oh, you know what? I should get this out of the way. I'm in a relationship. I'm just looking for a friendship.
She has a boyfriend back in Ohio.
Yeah, and it's, you know, he's like, oh, what about that girl you said was your friend and she stole him away from you? And she's like, yeah, but that shirt makes me think that was a huge lie. And like, you know, man, I get it, movie, and I get it, Ralph Macchio, and I don't need her to blow you at a Pizza Hut.
No.
But I just need this to not be what it is, because it's just neutered garbage. And if it's neutered garbage, why is it in a movie that's already neutered of all karate ever?
You're not doing Nymphomaniac. You're doing Karate Kid Part 3. Nothing is risque about this. It's just...
It's so stupid.
You're gonna do, the most fucking action you're gonna get is do bumper cars, probably. Like,
that's
seriously.
the thing. It's like everyone involved must have known this is basically the final Daniel LaRusso, at least.
Yeah.
Karate Kid. If you're not doing karate, you need like the big love story or something like this is, and they lived happily ever after. Nope.
That's the thing, right? If those jeans are too tight for karate, those jeans definitely aren't too tight to go to a pier somewhere and go to an arcade or go on a roller coaster. Like,
hey,
how about a fucking carnival?
Maybe go under the pier, see what happens.
Daniel is, I don't know, I think he's going through a weird, like, late teens crisis. Because he's like, yeah, that's a great idea. We'll be just friends. And I'll put all my feelings in a pot and I'll break them. You know, and like, it's just like,
it's a pot that you make me on your clay wheel.
And then I'll go talk to my old man friend and, you know, he'll give me more advice and maybe he'll give me some sort of very obscure karate lesson where I might learn anything.
And then I'll realize that my mother would rather go travel to another part of the country to take care of a relative I never heard him instead of living with me and raising me like a mother should. It'll be great. Then he just fucking blows his brains out.
That should be the end of this movie.
In the bonsai fucking parking lot.
Terry Silver just shows up like, huh. Wow. I mean, really. Wow.
Wish you acted on that a couple weeks sooner, kid. Could have saved me tens of thousands of dollars.
And then he just shoves Miyagi, you're fucking lucky, and he walks away. So basically, on their first date, they get harassed by Snake and Mike and Karate's bad boy Mike Barnes.
Yes.
And he's like, hey, I'll see you at the karate tournament, right, LaRusso? And he's like shoving him, and he's like, well, actually, my boss said I can't go to the karate tournament. And he's like calling him a coward, shoving him around, beating the shit out of him, right?
Oh yeah. And by the way, it's in the bonsai shop.
Yes.
Because he picks her up. And she's like, so what are we going to do? And he's like, well, I thought I could show you Mr. Miyagi's bonsai shop. It'll be a lot of fun.
It's called Mr. Miyagi's Little Trees.
He's like, oh, Mr. Miyagi, what do you think of that name? I think it's pretty smart, right? And he's like, yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Well, now that all erotic tension is quelled, we might as well go to my bonsai shop.
Nobody ever fucks in a bonsai
So
shop.
they get in there and it looks like shit.
It looks like shit this entire movie.
They really never get around to fixing it up before these dudes destroy it.
So then Karate's bad boy and the baddies show up and they start
Fat guy and the other one.
they start wrecking shit like, oh, what's that? You want would be a shame if something would happen to this wooden floor. They start kicking the floor in and stuff. Sign it. He won't sign it, Now he's honorable, he's sticking by his sensei.
Oh, by signing, you mean the application to a regional karate tournament, right?
Yes.
That's what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Just-
So the next appropriate response to him not signing it is to kick the girl in the chest.
It's nuts.
I mean, why not, man? Karate's bad boy.
That fucking says it right there. That's his name.
Because Daniel's son is holding his gut on the floor, like, oh, he's like really trying to breathe. Like, I guess I didn't know karate at all.
Man, this is so funny. I keep just forgetting how to do karate. It's unbelievable.
And she just gets sidekicked through a fucking table. The Dudley Boys DDT her onto a card table.
There's so many breakable wooden objects. How about one metal shelf, Mr. Miyagi? Just one.
The best thing in the world is Miyagi comes in, and Miyagi is like literally a karate god. Like nobody could land a hit on him.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you're karate's bad boy Mike Barnes. Bruce Lee would get the shit kicked out of him by Miyagi.
Oh, absolutely.
So he beats these kids up. They run out and they get into their car, their convertible, and they start doing donuts in front of Miyagi's place. Like, you gonna sign that, LaRusso, you fucking pussy? It's amazing.
How did they narrowly miss getting hit by a train?
Oh, yeah. Dude, how about that, right? Karate's bad boy killed by an oncoming train.
You live fast, you die fast, man.
It's true, man.
So back at Castle Silver, he's assembling a fleet of commoner cars. His butlers have brought him out a fleet of these cars that look like shit. Like some are broken up and stuff. Basically, he told these people just to buy a bunch of cars so that he can inspect them to then drive one to now infiltrate Daniel's life.
Yeah, and this is why I said it's not just a plan. He's engineering a downfall because he gets all these cars because his whole plan at this point is like, I have to make myself look like a common shitheel so I can go in, pretend to be this guy, like hat in hand, like, oh, Mr. Miyagi. Like he comes in while they're training one morning because I'm sure Mr. Miyagi really wanted to be up on a Saturday morning with this kid doing fucking karate practice in the backyard.
What I appreciate about this is Terry Silver just walks through their house and then into the backyard.
Oh, yeah. He comes right through and he's just like, oh, hey, are you Mr. Miyagi? And he's apologizing. He's pretending he's from Korea.
Yeah.
Where I guess it's not that it's a branch of the Cobra Kai, but it's just like that dude's sensei had something to do
with Miyagi. Like they knew each other in the old lands or whatever. And like there's an old grudge that was quelled. He's like, he sends his respects. And I also want to apologize. My friend actually was John Kreese. He's dead now, by the way. And they're like, wait, what? He's like, yeah, losing that. And he actually says, like, losing that karate tournament just broke his heart. And then he died.
He died of a
like,
broken heart. A broken karate kicked heart, which is awesome. And he's like, well, I guess if that's all, Mr. Miyagi, I'm just going to bow a couple times and I'll be on my way. Really just planting the seeds of like good guy Terry Silver.
Well, the best thing is like, you know, when an old couple, you know, the wife dies and then the husband dies after, or vice versa. Well, for John, it was, you know, losing those kids to yell at after he lost that. He just had nothing to live for, you know. Belittling children at a karate setting
also,
without that.
You know, he's apologizing with half of the dojo that trained him in, but that he says it's in Korea, and he can't. Like, it took a while for word to reach Korea. He's on. He's supposed Terry Silver in this plot of his.
Yes,
is on a dojo business trip to make amends and save face.
Because it's the 80s and there's money in karate.
And that used to happen. You'd be like, yeah, dojo's sending me to Japan this week.
Yeah.
All expenses paid.
The dojo's just sending me. There's a karate seminar. I'm going to listen to a whole bunch of karate lectures. Dude, they're putting me up at the Tokyo Hilton. It's going to be great.
I'm kind of getting seduced by this world, man. It's too bad that it doesn't exist anymore.
You know what I realized, dude, is when we were on the Digital Drift podcast and Alex Shaw asked us where it was we wanted to go. Missed opportunity.
What are you talking about? I said 1980 California.
Yeah.
Boom. I could have got in on the ground floor, Mr. Miyagi.
But we weren't thinking in terms of the super popular karate empires that we could have been a part of.
Yeah.
You were saying video arcades and nice weather. Dude, suburban karate finals. That's where the money was at.
That's where the real money was. That was like the Microsoft of the 80s.
Yeah, you're right. Hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, could be in your pocket right now.
Hey, you know what? Here's the thing.
Yeah, could be.
Karate from fall into spring, right? And then in the summer, we're dirt biking.
Oh, yeah.
Man, oh man, are you dirt biking?
You bet. You bet.
Absolutely, dude.
Problem is, you're drinking a lot of bad beer, like a ton of bad.
Oh, there's a lot of bad beer.
You better get your can opener, drink some bad beer.
A lot of bad beer, a lot of wrinkled old porno mags.
One by one, our necks would be broken. Either karate or dirt biking, and that's it.
Yeah, one or the other. We're dying in some sort of accident.
Your necks are in danger 24/7.
Oh man, yeah.
So basically, like, Miyagi respects the shit out of it. Daniel's like, oh, what a good guy. You know, I feel bad. I can't believe John Kreese is dead. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And
that was a real violent turn.
So basically, the business is failing, and Daniel's like, no, you know what we need? Mr. Miyagi told me that his whole life's ambition was to watch that tree flourish in this Devil's Canyon that really was hard for him to plant. I better rip it out of the fucking ground.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So he takes his girlfriend, who happens to be, his friend.
His platonic friend. Apologies to Mrs. Macchio.
Mama Macchio.
Yeah, don't want her feathers getting ruffled talking about the non-existent love angle in this movie.
So she happens to be a mountain climbing expert, like she would.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they rappel down the thing, and they're like, Danielson's like, oh man, it's gonna be great. I could get $10,000 for this tree. You know what I mean? That'll really give up, my $3,000 somehow ran out already.
Unbelievable. First of all, he falls like a chump almost instantly.
Yep.
And she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry that you couldn't do this."
Well, you know what?
I thought you were in good shape.
If he's bad at being the karate kid, he's also bad at being the mountain climbing kid too. Then, because you're right. He just sucks ass at this, and you're like, how dare you want to enter the All Valley Karate Tournament, dude? When you're this fucking out of shape, you can't even belay down a little hill.
Unbelievable.
You fucking loser. God damn it, Daniel-san. You're the worst.
What a loser.
Now, I mean, at this point, Daniel has politely refused Mike Barnes. He has vehemently refused Mike Barnes.
Yep.
He's already gone to the police because, he fucked up his thing. He went to the police. Apparently, the police, even though he fucked up a small business and assaulted a woman, the police laughed him out of the police precinct.
I would laugh Daniel-san out of a police precinct also.
What, you kicked your girlfriend too?
What a loser.
That's real.
Wait, she's not your girlfriend?
Hold on. Give me that newspaper from 7 months ago. Oh my God, that's the kid who won the tournament.
Bro, this kid's in here saying a girl got kicked. He ain't even his girlfriend.
Oh man, that All Valley is full of pussy, son.
You come to the Encino finals. Get your fucking head kicked in.
Fuck, no skull left.
So Mike Barnes, and he's got a 50% stake in another failing business franchise, so he's really out. He's played for keeps.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So he tries to kill Daniel at this point because he hasn't signed his registration to an All Valley tournament.
Yeah, pretty much.
A youth regional karate tournament.
Under 18.
Yes, he is holding him over a cliff. Basically, he's holding on the thing, and he basically.
Well, basically, what happens is Daniel's so fucking stupid. Somehow they drop that goddamn tree to the bottom
because he's terrified of what he's doing. Like, they're going down there and she's trying to get down on her own and a rock comes loose and he's like, oh, a rock, and like jumps out of the way and fucking drops the tree and it goes to the bottom. So then they have to go all the way to the bottom, of this little
and they
cove.
have to protect it from the salt water if it gets on the tree.
Right, because he's already just ripped it out of the fucking ground
like an asshole.
And he knows nothing about anything. He's like, oh, maybe if I wash the roots, and like the fucking thing's dead, by the way, in case you're wondering. That's a dead stick. And if it wasn't a dead stick, Mike Barnes is going to make sure it's a dead stick.
Oh, because they get back up to the top of that mountain and he fucking breaks it in half in front of him.
He says, hey, LaRusso, make a wish, and snaps it.
Oh, it's awesome.
After he bullies him into signing the thing.
Yes, he signed it because they were going to leave them down at the bottom of the cauldron for a high tide to come in. So it was basically, you can die.
Sign or die, man.
You could, do this stupid thing. Because also, Karate's bad boy Mike Barnes at this point very vehemently wants this to happen because he wants stake in this new dojo franchise. And it's not going to happen if he just defeats someone else.
Right. And by the way, as far as what Daniel-san should be thinking here, right? Like, okay, guys, you really got me now. I will sign it. Just fucking sign it. And then you know what?
Don't show.
Yeah. Don't show up.
Oh, I was sick that day.
Oh, my God. Oh, I
easy.
can't compete. Oh, Mike Barnes, you got to the final competition? All right. Well, whatever. I don't care because it's not a fucking law-abiding thing. It's a goddamn permission slip to fight in a fucking karate tournament.
You know what? Daniel and Miyagi should have, they should have realized, okay, the police aren't going to do anything. They got to take this into their own hands. And, why fight them at karate, which is what they want to do? How about put a fucking car bomb in Mike Barnes'
You know what, Miyagi, you just got back from settling one blood feud.
Yeah.
Why don't you start another one?
Yeah, you get that one. You got that one off the books. Put one on.
Oh yeah. Then in the next movie you can fight Terry Silver's brother Barry Silver. He'll be out to settle the score. It'll be great.
The best thing is when Mike Barnes is actually agreeing to the terms with Terry Silver. He's really he's negotiating hard. He's like, I want 25, I want 50%. And he's like, yeah, man, whatever you want. You negotiate as good as you fight. He's like, lighting a cigar. And he's like, yeah, I do. You going to write this up today? He's like, I'll have you able for you to sign this afternoon. I want to see this contract. Because this contract not only stipulates that this kid is going to get 50% of this fake dojo business, it's only upon him humiliating and defeating specifically another kid that's not even entered at this point in this karate tournament.
And by the way, guaranteed, there's some sort of concrete thing that's like, you can't just beat him. Beforehand, you need to put in exactly 72 hours of community service humiliating him, humiliating and harassing not only this kid, but his weird old man friend that he lives with. And the contract language does say weird old man friend because they have no idea who Mr. Miyagi is.
And you get a $1,500 bonus if you could physically assault his love interest, whoever she may be.
Oh, yeah, guaranteed.
Or a friend interest.
Friend interest.
It's guaranteed money.
So at this point, Miyagi is like, he's fucking he's as mad as Miyagi gets, which is not very. No. But he's like, he comes back. He's like, Macchio's like holding on to his wounds. And he's like, Mr. Miyagi, I'm so sorry. And he shows this man what he thought was a tree that's just living a wonderful tree life on the side of a mountain.
A tree that he was probably found as a child and brought from another nation to this nation, then fought in World War II for America. This tree's fucking old.
No, that's the thing, right? Here's all the string of memories that he associates with this tree. Like, emigrates to the United States from Okinawa, Japan, right? He brings maybe the seed of the tree with him. He says, I want this to be a very special place where I can plant this tree. It will be untouched by man. Plants the bonsai tree. It starts, sprouting a little bit. He's very happy with it. Boom. Fucking Japanese internment camp.
Yep.
Okay. Then he's let out. He's got to fight in the 422 or whatever the name of the regiment was. Goes over. He's a goddamn decorated World War II fucking hero. He's a hero, Mr. Miyagi. Comes back. Great life. Loses his fucking wife. Guaranteed she loved that goddamn bonsai tree. All these memories, both good and bad.
They used to go and look at it every weekend.
Oh, yeah.
He says a little poetic thing like, "Oh, I planted it so the light hits it just right on a fucking summer day," and all this shit.
It was like spiritually and scientifically aligned.
And really this fucking community college dropout fucking ripped it out of the ground.
This fucking Jersey rat that wandered his way to California,
and ruined your life.
Just tore it out of the ground because, oh, by the way, he thought he was doing you a favor because isn't it just the American way? Oh, I thought Mr. Miyagi would get $10,000 for this tree. You fucking little rat shit.
Should have done the touch of death.
Yep. You're exactly right. 7 pressure points. Kill him dead.
And he's like, he's really upset, but he doesn't get actually physically upset because he's Miyagi and he's stone cold, super cool the whole time. And he's like, well, actually, you didn't need to do that because I just sold one of the millions of cars that are out in my fucking driveway, you fucking idiot. And he's like, oh, why didn't you tell me? And he's like, what? Did you even notice that the car was gone? Of course you didn't, because there's that many cars out there. What do you think? What's their equity, you jackass?
It's amazing because he says what he says to her, and this really kind of it lets you know where Miyagi stands with this whole relationship versus where LaRusso stands with this whole thing. Because Miyagi says, you know why I didn't tell you? Because I got up this morning and you weren't home. And I'm fucking a 75-year-old World War II veteran and I don't answer to your dumb ass. Yeah. If I want to sell a car, I'm going to go sell a car.
You know what you should ask me about? Ripping my fucking family's tree out of the fucking wall that I've had for fucking 60 years. Since your dumb fucking mother was in short pants, you idiot.
It's just this fucking, Steve, you said it's I'm not going to take credit for this, but he's fucking Scotty from Boogie Nights. Like, oh, Mr. Miyagi, I'm so sorry. I'm such a fucking idiot, Mr. Miyagi. I can't believe how stupid I am, Mr. Miyagi.
I was like, oh, damn it. I should have just signed the paper. It would have been all right. I should have just signed the paper. It would have been all right. And he's like, Miyagi just doesn't have the time. And he's like, I just got to fix this tree.
Miyagi, now understands, under those circumstances, I understand why you signed for this karate tournament, but I'm not going to be able to train you. I can't train you.
I'm not going to do it.
Because, number one, you're an asshole. So then he drifts into the arms of the evil sensei, Terry Silver.
And it's just a lot of him training with Silver. And you can clearly see Silver's teaching him some wrong things, teaching him a couple of dirty tricks and everything.
It's great the way Silver actually finally makes his move is LaRusso's jogging with his friend interest. And she's like, oh, so Miyagi's not going to train. He's like, nope, I guess I'm on my own. I guess this guy's going to kill me in cold blood in the ring. And Silver's pulls up in a car and is like, hey, buddy, you need to learn karate? Hey, friend, looks like you need some karate lessons. And he's like, you know what, Terry Silver? I do. And yeah, he's kind of doing some he's giving him aggressive karate lessons. And one of John Kreese's crazy decrees for this vengeance feud, he's like, make his knuckles bleed.
Oh, yeah. And Terry Silver's like, oh, I love that. What a great motto for my mission. Make his knuckles bleed.
So he's got this wooden dummy that's made out of 2x4s, and it's got Bad Boy Mike Barnes' face on it. He's like, this is your enemy. He's like, but to be honest, he's teaching him more karate than Mr. Miyagi has in 3 movies. He's like, yep, this is a straight punch. This is a sweep. This is a these are things you can use.
Exactly.
Here are tools you can use in a karate fight.
And so much like how you train a dog for a dog fight, he really makes Daniel-san into this evil fighting machine who will use karate for vengeance and not just for defense. And it culminates at this nightclub they go to where he takes his non-lady friend out on the dance floor, and then Silver pays the kid from Real Genius to go up.
Is that the kid from Real Genius?
It's the kid from Real Genius.
Oh,
he goes up to fuck with him, right? And then Daniel-san just punches this guy right in the nose.
He just asks his girlfriend to dance, and he's like, he puts his arm around her, or not his girlfriend, his friend. And LaRusso is so fucking ravenous at this point.
Oh, yeah.
He's like a Michael Vick dog and just punches this kid in the fucking nose.
Instantly shatters this nose, a cinder. Blood everywhere.
There's blood all over his shirt. It's like it's like Pulp Fiction. It's everywhere, this blood.
Mhm.
It's ridiculous. And then like they get out of there, and Daniel's like, oh my God, Terry Silver, what have I done? It's ridiculous. I can't believe I did that.
By the way, Terry Silver's now he runs into them at the club.
Oh yeah, he's like, oh, Daniel-san, what are you doing here?
Yeah, right, Terry Silver. How do you not know this ponytailed creep is up to no good?
Because Daniel LaRusso is one of the dumbest movie characters of all time.
He's top. And he goes back to Mr. Miyagi and he's like, oh my God, I'm so turned around, Mr. Miyagi. And at this point, he has been karate cheating on him for a while. And it's really weird.
It's the dark side. He's turned to the dark side.
It's exactly right. It's fucking Revenge of the Sith, man. He's turning.
Mhm.
And,
they're building a Death Star.
Fucking Terry Silver's just building this Death Star.
It turns into a domestic drama where it all comes out one night. He's covered in blood, and he's like, "What if it's gonna come of me?" And like, basically, he lets it spill. And he's like, I will train. I'll train you for the tournament. I'll give you the right lessons. You're really just fucked up right now. He's like, all right, I got to break this off right now with Terry Silver. I swear to God, Mr. Miyagi, this is going to be great. And he goes to his love interest's house, covered in blood again.
Oh, yeah, just blood everywhere. Fucking
he's
massacre.
Like, this girl is like, I was hanging out with this guy just because I'm really trying to kill time, and he's safe. But I've been kicked in the chest.
Yep.
He's weirdly protective. I'm going to leave this movie. Thanks, but no thanks. She's literally like you said.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just packing a suitcase to leave Movie Town.
Yep. She's going to the reality of Ohio in this movie, which doesn't exist. She's going to board a plane in Los Angeles, get into the air, and just vanish.
And what I love about that, too, is she clearly says, like, when they meet at some point, like, I'm here for college. Like, I'm living here. My Aunt Peg runs the pottery shop.
Yeah.
So what? Because of Daniel LaRusso's shenanigans, this woman has like forced herself to drop out of college and move home just to be away from all this karate madness.
She knows. She was like, I knew I should have gone to Ohio State. This LA
makes a whole lot more sense. And he's like, oh, why did you send me a Christmas card? It's like, yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah. Don't bother leaving your address, though. I'll look it up. Mr. Miyagi's Little Trees, right? I'm sure it'll still be there at Christmas. So then he goes over to Terry Silver's, dojo and whatnot.
At like 1 a.m. This is after a nightclub outing.
Because, dude, when you live and breathe karate in the 1980s, you're always at the dojo.
Yeah, Terry Silver's he's training because
he's in his outfit. He's just training in the back,
and he comes in. He's like, Mr. Silver, you're so great. You're a great karate guy. My God, you're so good at karate. But it's just that you're not the right kind of karate for me.
It's crooked karate.
It's not your karate. It's my karate.
And then, Terry Silver then is like, okay, well, it's time to unmask what's going on here. So it's a big, you're fucking fighting in this All Valley tournament, buddy.
And of course, John Kreese comes out laughing. The assumed.
I thought I saw a ghost.
It's so stupid. And Mike Barnes, too. They're all
Karate's Bad Boys there, yeah.
Karate's Bad Boy. Mike Barnes is there. John Kreese is there. Snake is there.
I think it's kind of a bummer that Daniel shows up at this party because they were minutes away from getting down to some coke. Like, it's just like...
Oh, yep, absolutely. Guaranteed. Someone just got these brand new compact discs.
Yep.
And listen, there's a couple of Skynyrd albums that are on compact disc now. We're going to listen to Skynyrd. We're drinking shitty beer, and we're doing a whole lot of fucking coke. And you know what? You're not allowed to talk about anything but karate and Skynyrd.
Oh, dude.
That's it.
Kreese is back from Tahiti. We're going to get so fucked up, man.
Yeah, LaRusso really fucked up this whole thing. Dude, that's probably why they kick his ass.
And they're not sending Snake out there to get subpar shit. Fucking Terry Silver's getting his fucking British butler to get him some Primo Columbia.
Oh, yeah, dude, this is no fucking joke. It'll get you where you need to go.
Fucking their lives would have been changed.
Travel through time with that shit.
And they all come out and beat the ever-loving shit out of Daniel.
Man, oh man, does he get it, which is great. Because he deserves it.
And like every single time, here's the thing, Miyagi. When you see 3 villains beating the shit out of Daniel and, all this shit's happened, walk away.
Yep.
Just turn around.
This is the path that he's forged for himself.
Maybe they'll kill him, and it's not your fault.
You weren't there.
You weren't there.
Nope. Perfect break. Clean break.
Daniel should just moved it back to Jersey. Go to college in the East. Get away from all.
Get
this
a trade
stuff.
school. Become an electrician. It's a great life.
Exactly. So, he gets his ass kicked. Miyagi comes in,
obviously
lays fucking waste to these guys.
Throws bad boy Mike Barnes through the fucking door.
Oh, yeah. He's Jazzy Jeffed right out of the dojo. It's great.
And I know he's the best at everything, but he is 70 years old, and these guys there's 3 of them.
Yeah.
Terry Silver is a known badass. Karate's bad boy Mike Barnes is kicking women all over the place. They're young, they're lean, and they're mean. And they get their shit kicked out of them by a 3 foot tall 70-year-old man.
And you know what, by the way? Snake and the other guy, they're not above baseball bats.
No, of course not.
So riddle me this, Miyagi. You're going to take on Karate's bad boy Mike Barnes, Terry Silver, noted karate enthusiast and billionaire, and then 2 idiots with baseball bats. You're going fucking down.
By the way, those baseball bats were there because this crazy Coke party was going to culminate with breaking somebody else's windshield just for the shit of it.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Let's fuck up somebody else's car. And
So
Terry
then-
Silver will leave money. It's fine. It's fine.
So then, brief training montage. It's a lot of just like doing some slow motion moves by the ocean. Nothing nuts.
But it is a little important to hit the Terry Silver v Miyagi thing. Like he's kind of doing some fake Bruce Lee, like wow.
Oh yeah, it's getting
because he's calling him a mountain all over the
Oh,
place.
yeah, big time mountain calling. Absolutely.
And basically because this you'll see in a minute. Miyagi wins. He kicks him into like a bunch of paint, and he kind of gets. Speaking of Dazed and Confused, he gets Ben Affleck for a second, and he's like, "Oh man,
yeah."
So that's his humiliation, but you're still like, okay, this is the fight before the final fight where everything's really going to happen.
And it's awesome, too, because just the tail end of that whole scene with Miyagi is, because Terry Silver's doing all the wah, like being offensive and shit. And then fucking Pat Morita, man. Pat Morita was so amazing. Like, you see him just fucking looking at this scuzzball, and he just goes, wah. Like, and Pat Morita is able to do, like, a sarcastic, taunting Bruce Lee sound. God bless him. It's fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
So then we're just magically at the karate tournament. There's some slow motion training, nothing nuts here.
Stanley Kubrick's karate tournament. This is the reddest thing on. It's like on fucking Brando's Krypton. It's so red in this room.
It's unbelievable.
And this is where Terry Silver gives an amazing karate speech. Talks about how he's given back to the community and investing in it, and like how karate's taught him so much. And and he's wearing an ascot, which is
he looks the classiest thing.
He looks fantastic. He's really come to play. Like this is Cobra Kai's day.
Yeah, he's got a blazer, that ascot, the power tail,
he
dude.
Looks fucking great, dude. I
was falling in love.
He looks like money. He looks like money and success.
Money in the
you
bank.
know, he just came out of a really good bath.
Yep.
He
came out of a really good bath. And by the way, he totally got a blowjob in the limo from the dojo over to the community center where this, by the way, hugely attended karate tournament.
Absolutely.
Massive.
So we're there.
The whole valley's there, Andrew.
It's the All Valley, quite literally.
The under 18 All Valley karate tournament.
So, we're there. He's giving the karate speech. Everybody's in love with the Cobra Kai again. They're back. They're throwing T-shirts out. It's fantastic. John Kreese is back from the dead. Everybody's happy. Nobody even remembers he fucking strangled William Zabka in that parking lot. Does not even matter.
Nobody's questioning why Danielson has a black belt when he's clearly hasn't earned it.
Yep, exactly. A lot of that. And then it's like we come in, it's right when Karate's bad boy Mike Barnes finishes the match that's going to get him to fight Danielson. So we don't even, in an opportunity to see multiple fucking karate matches, we just skip right to the last second to last
further
one.
and further intimidated by Mike Barnes.
Exactly.
If you ever wanted to reprise You're the Best Around, which you fucking should because it's a Karate Kid movie.
You bet your ass, goddammit.
Let's see another montage of fucking karate fights.
It's so ridiculous. So then it's like we get to the fight. Mike Barnes clearly is just cheating the entire time. This ref that looks like character actor Michael Jeter just like keeps yelling at him to stop cheating.
Well, Terry Silver, again, like here's the thing, Terry Silver, you've sunk enough time and money into this thing. Let's win this karate championship and go home. But no. The master stroke is about to happen. He's like, look, you're gonna you're not only going to beat this kid in this karate tournament, which you so easily can, and he can.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, but you're going to fight dirty for the first 3 rounds, let him get a point, and you walk away with a point, so it goes to sudden death, and then you're going to beat him.
Keep going back and forth. Like, get a point, and then get a point retracted for cheating.
And it's the idea is like to build him up so that it hurts even more when we take him down.
But if I'm Karate's bad boy Mike Barnes, I'm like, well, you know what? I'm doing some mental math in my head. I'm like, you know what? That's not in my contract.
Nope.
In my contract is beating this kid in this karate tournament. I'm not going to jeopardize this payday.
Because I'm Karate's bad boy Mike Barnes, and I'm a fucking professional, and I've read that contract backwards and forwards. And I know that there's no loophole in there that says Terry Silver gets to dictate if I fuck with this kid or not.
No, exactly.
So I'm going to kick him a bunch of times and knock him down. I'll get the 3 points, and it's over with.
Then I'm 50% deep in Cobra Kai.
Yep.
And it's amazing. So, I mean, it's useless. It's great. So he beats the shit out of him. Like, he gets a bunch of illegal points. And, you know, he kicks LaRusso really bad in the stomach. And he's yelling at him while he's on the ground. He's like, "You're shit, LaRusso. You're karate shit. That old man was fucking with you. You never learned anything about karate.
He's a phony. You're karate shit. You're shit."
And I'm like, man, Karate's bad boy Mike Barnes is kind of right.
He is, because fucking LaRusso, Mike Barnes went to Harvard karate. LaRusso got home karate. You know what I mean? Nobody's looking at that lesson plan.
And we get to sudden death. Mr. Miyagi gives this like totally brief motivational speech about like, you just got to focus, get back in there and just do it. Like, focus on your karate. And then he just does it.
And he gets the 1 point and he wins.
Yeah, it's sudden death, so he needs the 1 point and he wins. And then this movie,
although there's one great line, that I just got to quickly interject. Terry Silver is saying little lines to John Kreese on the side of.
Because he's relishing it. This is 6 months in the making.
Watching Bad Boys Karate's bad boy Mike Barnes fighting this kid, and he's going, "I love it when he pounds him."
Look, you've spent weeks engineering a man's downfall.
And here it is in front of you.
I love it when he pounds him.
And he wins. And then, like, after all of this, after all of the side stories and this and that and the other thing, it's a fucking freeze frame in almost like mid-sentence of him like hugging Miyagi, and that's the end of the movie.
Miyagi's like looking at his shoes or something. Totally disinterested.
You don't know if... Like, this needs to end with Terry Silver going to jail. Maybe bad boy Mike Brown goes to jail. Certainly, John Kreese should be locked up.
Well, I think Karate's bad boy Mike Barnes should go to jail. I don't know about Mike Brown. I mean,
Karate's bad boy Mike Brown is just fine.
He's the patsy. He's the karate patsy.
Oh, I meant Cleveland coach Mike Brown. I apologize. Cleveland Cavalier basketball coach Mike Brown.
And then, I mean, and that's the end of it. And then, you know, we go into kind of a badass song in the credits. It's not "You're the Best Around." It's some other song.
Yeah, it's not even a Peter Cetera song. Not even a Peter Cetera song.
I think it's like fucking Foreigner or something. I don't remember. But then, I mean, and that's it. And that's the end of our fucking Daniel-san karate saga.
We don't know anything about him. We don't know if he goes to college. If, like, certainly the karate thing's a one and done, now 2 and done situation.
Oh, absolutely.
I think I just remembered this song. I think it goes something like, "Listen to your heart."
I mean, it's the one thing you can say about these Karate Kid movies, whether it's "Listen to Your Heart" or "You're the Best Around." There's always fucking killer music.
80s music, man. You gotta love it. Mm-hmm. It goes well with bad beer. Bad beer and great Coke.
Would anybody recommend Karate Kid Part 3?
Yes, enthusiastically. I've seen this movie probably at least 15 times. That's embarrassing. But, you know, it's just something that was always on television when I was growing up. And, I mean, it's fun and dumb. It's definitely the worst of the three. I think next Karate Kid's worse.
Right, but of the original, the Macchio trilogy.
Right, it's at the bottom. But it's kind of a fun bottom because it's like it stops caring to be a good movie and it's just dumb, you know, dumb shit. Come on.
I totally agree. I think it's really stupid. It's really fun. It's a bit long, but that's just what you're getting into with these Karate Kid movies.
I know. I mean, we're like 8 minutes shy of 2 hours. So it's not longer than Star Wars, but it fucking feels longer than Star Wars.
It does. And I mean, like, you know, Terry Silver is great. All the supporting, like, without Terry Silver and this kind of batshit plot, all of the Macchio stuff's really boring. I mean,
this is a movie for the villains.
It is. It really is. It's like a Batman movie. You know, like it's like, oh man, Thomas Ian Griffith was the Joker of this movie. He Heath Ledgered this movie.
He was great.
He was great, and I'm a wholehearted recommend on this movie. As far as the Macchio trilogy, I'm a real 2-1-3 guy.
Yeah, I think you're not wrong.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I fall with it.
Because they're fighting for the death of the second one, man.
I know. Yeah, I mean the
I gotta
first
rewatch it.
the first one's a little too kids movie for my taste, but man, fucking ending a blood feud, begging for death. I mean, that's what you want.
And the outfits, my God, the outfits that they're wearing.
The little drum thing's fantastic.
So I'm a 2-1-3 guy, but this is, I mean, it's so ridiculous, and these villains are fantastic. It's a wholehearted recommend.
Oh yeah.
I mean, what was the point of making that next Karate Kid movie?
I don't get it. I mean, the weird thing is, how did they not do a sequel to that hugely successful Jackie Chan movie that came out?
I think it might be
with Little General
around the corner or something.
Is it really?
Little General's just so busy.
I haven't seen it. I don't want to see it.
I don't give a shit.
I don't.
About
You know,
it.
like it's not. I know it's not for me. Like if people like it, that's great. I know where my bread is buttered.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't care to see that. I think Chris Cabin's actually said that it's kind of an okay movie.
I'm sure it is, but I want to watch a whiny Italian kid pester an old Japanese man. That's the whole point. Isn't that the whole fucking point here?
That is though. That's what made me fall in love.
Are my eyes on backwards or what? What are we talking here? Am I crazy?
That's The Karate Kid, Part 3 from 1989, directed by John Avildsen. If you want to get a hold of us, check out our website, WHMPodcast.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. We're at WHM Podcast. Right into the mailbag, weallhatemovies@gmail.com. What order do you place the Karate Kid films in? Subscribe to the show in iTunes. Rate and review there if you could. We would greatly appreciate that. If you have the Stitcher Radio app, you can stream us on the go with the 5 most recent episodes.
If you like us talking about Karate Kid, you should definitely download the app, and you should definitely check out on Bandcamp, doing an animation damnation on the Karate Kid cartoon show.
And if you were thinking to yourself, man, I really think Karate Kid Part 3 might be a good idea, but where's all the magic? It's all in that cartoon. So Steve's right. Grab the app or check out our Bandcamp page for the Karate Kid cartoon discussion, the 3rd installment of the very popular animation damnation. Clue for next week, Eric Siska.
Anthony Michael Hall.
Holy crap, everybody. Let that tickle your brain for a week. Until then, I'm Andrew Jupin.
Steven Zadak.
Eric Siska.
Take it easy.